Jnanakosha Vedas Atharvana Veda by pact.
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रवत्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः
Atharvana Veda based Upanishads, Prasna Upanishad. Here is the Upanishad. O gods, may we hear auspicious words with the ears. While engaged in sacrifices, may we see auspicious things with the eyes. While praising the gods with steady limbs, may we enjoy a life that is beneficial to the gods. May Indra of ancient fame be auspicious to us. May the supremely rich Pusa, god of the earth, be propitious to us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, be well disposed towards us. May Brihaspati ensure our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace. Atharvana Veda based Upanishads. Prashna Upanishad. The Prashna Upanishad is an ancient Sanskrit text embedded inside Atharva Veda ascribed to Pippalada Sakha of Vedic scholars. It is a Mukhya Upanishad and is listed as number 4 in the Muktika canon of 108 Upanishads of Hinduism. The Prashna Upanishad contains 6 prashnas, questions, and each is a chapter with a discussion of answers. The chapters end with the phrase Prashna Prativaknam, which literally means thus ends the answer to the question. In some manuscripts discovered in India, the Upanishad is divided into 3 adhyayas, chapters, with a total of 6 khandas. The first 3 questions are profound metaphysical questions but do not contain any defined philosophical answers, are mostly embellished mythology and symbolism. The 4th section, in contrast, contains substantial philosophy. The last 2 sections discuss the symbol Om and moksha concept. Prashna Upanishad is notable for its structure and sociological insights into the education process in ancient India. The Upanishad is also known as the Prashna Upanishad. In some historical Indian literature and commentaries, it is also called Shat Prashna Upanishad. What are the prashnas? Ethics before education in ancient schools. The opening verses of Prashna Upanishad describe students who arrive at a school seeking knowledge about Brahman, ultimate reality, universal soul. They ask sage Pippalada to explain this knowledge. He does not start providing answers for their education, but demands that they live with him ethnically first. To them, then the Rishi sage said, "Dwell with me a year, with tapas, with brahmacharya, with shraddha, faith. Then ask what questions you will. If we know, we will tell you all." The second interesting part of the answer is the implicit admission by the teacher with "if we know," that he may not know the answer, and thus acknowledging a sense of skepticism and humility into the process of learning. The first prashna: how did life begin? 8 years later, sage Pippalada is asked the first question: when are living beings created? Prajapati did tapas, heat, meditative penance, austerity, and created 2 principles: Riya, matter, feminine, and Prana, spirit, masculine, thinking that these together will couple to produce for me creatures in many ways. Second prashna: what is a living being? The second prashna starts with 3 questions. How many devas, gods, deities, powers uphold a living being? How many manifest their power? thus, and who is the best? The question is significant because it explicitly expresses God's to be residing in each living being and in nature to support life. Sage Pippalada opens the answers to the three questions by listing five gross elements, five senses, and five organs of action as expression of deities. What is the nature of man and how is it so? Third Prashna. The third Prashna of the Upanishads asks six questions. Whence is life born? When born, how does it come into the body? When it has entered the body, how does it abide? How does it go out of the body? How does life interface its relations with nature and senses? How does life interface with self? Sage Pippalada states that these questions are difficult, and given the student's past curiosities about Brahman, he explains saying, from the Atman, soul is born this life. Life enters the body. It governs the body by delegating work to other organs, each specialized to do its own work, independent of the other powers, just like a king commands his ministers to govern functions in the villages in his kingdom. Fourth Prashna. What establishes man? The first three Prashnas of the Upanishad focus on cause and effect of the transient, empirical, manifested world. The fourth through sixth Prashna of the Upanishad focus on the nature of soul, that which is unchanging and independent of cause, of proof, and is self-evident. The fourth Prashna lists five questions. What sleeps in man? What is awake therein when he sleeps? Which deva, god, deity, organ in man is it that sees the dreams? What is it in man that experiences happiness? On what is all this founded? The Prashna Upanishad begins the answer with a simile to state the background of extant theory before offering its own explanations. There is a deep sleep state, states the Upanishad, where impressions end and the mind too sleeps without impressions, and this is the complete state of mind, relaxation of body, happiness. It is he who beholds, touches, hears, smells, tastes, perceives, thinks, reasons, conceives, acts, whose essence is knowledge. The self, his foundation and dwelling, is the supreme, indestructible soul. The Prashna Upanishad answers that happiness and bliss in man is this established calm state of knowing and dwelling in the Atman, the spiritual state of truth, beauty, and goodness. What is meditation and why meditate is the fifth Prashna. The Prashna Upanishad opens the fifth section with the question, if a human being sincerely meditated on the symbol Om until his death, what would he obtain by it? The section then asserts that one meditates to know soul's self, Atma Brahman, then metaphorically presents the different levels of meditation, the levels of knowledge gained, and the consequent effect on the person of such meditation is in this and after life. The Upanishad asserts that there are three levels of soul knowledge, the lowest level being partial from meditating on the first letter of that is A. This leads to a quick rebirth, but with ethical strength and consequently greatness. The intermediate level of self-knowledge is akin to meditating on two letters of and is A and O. The intermediate level of self-knowledge leads the man to gain ethical behavior and the world of manas, moon, mind. He first enjoys the heavenly life and thereafter is reborn to the world of man. The person who meditates on all aspects of self, that is, all three syllables, reaches full self knowledge, is liberated from all suffering, sin, and fears, reaches the world of Brahman, such as a man beholds the soul as universal, pervading in all creatures and eternal. The Prasna Upanishad symbolically likens the three states of knowledge to sets of three: being awake, dream sleep, and deep sleep. Three pronunciations: Tara, Mandra, and Madhyama. True but high tone, unclear but pleasant bass tone, perfect middle tone, that is pleasant and true respectively. What is immortal in man? Sixth Prashna. The sixth Prashna in the Upanishad opens with a story of a prince visiting one of the students and asking, "Where is the person with 16 parts?" The student confesses he does not know with the ethical percept, answering with untruth. When one does not know, the answer is wrong. The student asks sage Pippalada the same question. The sage answers, states the Upanishad, that he and every human being has 16 parts. This answer is significant because more ancient texts of the Vedic era, such as the Samhitas, refer to Prajapati, the lord of creation, as Sodasin, which literally means the one with 16 parts. Man implies the sixth Prashna of the Upanishads is created in Prajapati's image and internally lord of creation. The section states soul is immortal. Self-knowledge, the knowledge of Brahman, is the highest knowledge, state the closing verses of Prashna Upanishad. Jnanakosha, Vedas, Atharvana Veda by pact.
ॐ गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रवत्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः
Atharvana Veda based Upanishads, Prashna Upanishad. Here is the Upanishad. Om, O gods, may we hear auspicious words with the ears. While engaged in sacrifices, may we see auspicious things with the eyes. While praising the gods with steady limbs, may we enjoy a life that is beneficial to the gods. May Indra of ancient fame be auspicious to us. May the supremely rich Pusa, god of the earth, be propitious to us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, be well disposed towards us. May Brihaspati ensure our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace. Chapter 1. Sukesa, son of Bharadwaja, Satyakama, son of Sibhi, the grandson of Surya, born of the family of Garga, Kaushalya, son of Ashvala, a scion of the line of Brighu, born in Vidarbha, and Kabandhi, descendant of Katya, all these who were devoted to the inferior Brahman, engaged in realizing the inferior Brahman, and intent on a search of the supreme Brahman, approached with faggots in hand the venerable Pippalada with the belief This one will be certainly tell us all about it. To them the seeds said, Live here again for a year in a fitting manner, with control over the senses, and with brahmacharya and faith. Then put questions as you please. If we know, we shall explain all your questions. After that, Kabandhi, descendant of Katya, having approached him, asked, Venerable sir, from what indeed are all these beings born? To him he said, The Lord of all creatures became desirous of progeny. He deliberated on past Vedic knowledge. Having brooded on that knowledge, he created a couple, food and prana, under the idea, These two will produce creatures for me in multifarious ways. The sun is verily prana, and food is verily the moon. Whatever is gross or subtle is but food. The gross, as distinguished from that subtle, is certainly food of the subtle. Now then, the fact that the sun, while rising, enters into the eastern direction, thereby it absorbs into its rays all the creatures in the east, that it enters into the earth, that it enters into the west, that it enters into the north, that it reaches the nadar and the zenith, that it enters the intermediate points of the zodiac, that it illumes all, thereby it absorbs all living things into its rays. That very one rises up who is prana and fire, who is identified with all creatures, and who is possessed of all forms. This very one that has been referred to is spoken of by the mantra. The realizers of Brahman knew the one that is possessed of all forms, full of rays, endowed with illumination, the resort of all, the single light of all, and the radiator of heat. It is the sun that rises, the sun that possesses 1,000 rays, exists in 100 forms, and is the life of all creatures. The year is verily the Lord of creatures. Of him there are two courses, the southern and the northern. As to what those who follow in that way, the sacrifices and public good, that are products of action, conquer the very world of the moon. It is they who come back, since this is so. Hence these seeds of heaven, who are desirous of progeny, attain the southern course. That which is the course of the mains is verily food. Again, by searching for the self through the control of the senses, brahmacharya, faith and meditation, they conquer the sun by proceeding along the northern course. This is the resort of all that lives. This is indestructible. This is fearless. This is the highest goal, for from this they do not come back. This is unrealizable to the ignorant. Pertaining to this, here is a verse. Some talk of as possessed of 5 feet, as the Father, as constituted by 12 limbs, and as full of water in the high place above the sky. But there are these others who call him the omniscient, and say that on him, as possessed of 7 wheels and 6 spokes, is fixed the whole universe. The month verily is the Lord of all creatures. The dark fortnight is his foot, and the bright his prana. Therefore these seeds perform the sacrifices in the bright fortnight. The others perform it in the other. Day and night are verily the Lord of all creatures. Day is surely his prana, and night is certainly the foot. Those who indulge in passion in the day waste away prana, that they give Play to passion at night is as good as celibacy. Food is nothing but the Lord of all creatures. From that indeed issues that human seed. From that are born all these beings. This being so, those who undertake the well-known O of the Lord of all creatures beget both sons and daughters. For them alone is this world of the moon, in whom there are the O's and continuance, and in whom is found for ever avoidance of falsehood. For them is that taintless world of Brahman, in whom there is no crookedness, no falsehood, and no dissimulation. Chapter 2. Next, a second of the line of Bhrigu, born in Vidarbha, asked him, "Sir, how many in fact are the deities that sustain a creature? Which among them exhibit this glory? Which again is the chief among them?" To him he said, "Space is in fact is this deity, as also are air, fire, water, earth, and organ of speech, mind, eye, and ear. Exhibiting their glory, they say, unquestionably it is we who hold together this body by not allowing it to disintegrate." To them the chief Prana said, "Do not be deluded. It is I who do not allow it to disintegrate by sustaining it, by dividing myself fivefold." They remained incredulous. He appeared to be rising up from the body out of indignation. As he ascended, all the others too ascended immediately, and when he remained quiet, all others too remained in position. Just as in the world all the bees take to flight in accordance as the king of the bees takes to his wings, and they settle down as he does so. Similarly did speech, mind, eye, ear behave. Becoming delighted, they began to praise Prana. This one, Prana, burns as fire. This one is the sun. This one is cloud. This one is Indra and air. This one is the earth and food. This God is the gross and the subtle, as well as that which is nectar. Like spokes on the hub of a chariot wheel are fixed on Prana. All things, Riks, Yajus, Samas, sacrifice Kshatriya and Brahmana. It is you who move about in the womb as the Lord of creation, and it is you who take birth after the image of the Pranas. O Prana, it is for you who reside with the organs that all these creatures carry presence. You are the best transmitter of libation to the celestials. You are the food offering to the mains that precedes other offerings. You are the right conduct of the organs that constitute the essence of the body and are known as the Atharvas. O Prana, you are Indra. Through your valor you are Rudra, and you are the preserver on all sides. You move in the sky, you are the sun, the Lord of all luminaries. O Prana, when you pour down, then these creatures of yours continue to be in a happy mood under the belief food will be produced to our hearts. O Prana, you are unpurified, you are the fire, Ekarasi, the eater, and you are the Lord of all that exists. You are the givers of food, O Mother Risva, you are our Father. Make calm that aspect of yours that is lodged in speech, that which is in the ear, that which is in the eye, and that which permeates the mind. Do not rise up. All this in this world, as also all that is in heaven, is under the control of Prana. Protect us just as a mother does her sons, and ordain for us splendor and intelligence. Chapter 3. Then Kaushalya, son of Ashvala, asked him, O venerable sir, from where is this prana born? How does he come into this body? How again does he dwell by dividing himself? How does he depart? How does he support the external things and how the physical? To him he said, You are putting supernormal questions, since you are preeminently a knower of Brahman. Hence I speak to you. From the self is born this prana. Just as there can be shadow when a man is there, so this prana is fixed on the self. He comes to this body owing to the actions of the mind. As it is the king alone who employs the officers, saying, Rule over these villages and those ones, just so prana engages the other organs separately. He places apana in the two lower apertures. Prasna himself, issuing out of the mouth and nostrils, resides in the eyes and ears. In the middle, however, is samana, for this one distributes equally all this food that is eaten. From that issue out these seven flames. This self is surely in the heart. There are 101 of the nerves. Each of them has 100. Each branch is divided into 72,000 sub-branches. Among them moves Vyana. Now then Udana, when it is in its upward trend, leads to a virtuous world as a result of virtue, to a sinful world as a result of sin, and to the human world as a result of both. The sun is indeed the external prana. It rises up favoring this prana in the eye. That deity that is in the earth favors by attracting apana in a human being. The space that is within is samana, the common air is vyana. That which is well known as luminosity is udana. Therefore, one who gets his light extinguished attains rebirth together with the organs that enter into his mind, together with whatever thought he had at the time of death. He enters into prana. Prana in combination with udana and in association with the soul leads him to the world desired by him. The line of progeny of any man of knowledge who knows prana thus sustains no break. He becomes immortal. Pertaining to this there occurs this mantra. Having known the origin, coming, lodgment and fivefold overlordships and the physical existence of prana, one achieves immortality. Having known, one achieves immortality. Jnanakosha, Vedas, Atharvana Veda by pact.
ॐ गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवस्त्रवत्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः
Atharvana Veda based Upanishads, Prasna Upanishad. Here is the Upanishad. O gods, may we hear auspicious words with the ears. While engaged in sacrifices, may we see auspicious things with the eyes. While praising the gods with steady limbs, may we enjoy a life that is beneficial to the gods. May Indra of ancient fame be auspicious to us. May the supremely rich Pusa, god of the earth, be propitious to us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, be well disposed towards us. May Brihaspati ensure our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace. Prashna Upanishad, Chapter 4. Then the grandson of Surya, born of the family of Garga, asked him, O adorable sir, which are the organs that go to sleep in this person, which keep awake in him? which is the deity who experiences dream, to whom occurs this happiness, in whom do all get merged. To him he said, O Gargaya, just as all the rays of the setting sun become unified in this orbit of light and they disperse from the sun as it rises up again. Similarly, all that becomes unified in the high deity, the mind. Hence, this person does not then hear, does not see, does not smell, does not taste, does not touch, does not speak, does not grasp, does not enjoy, does not eject, does not move. People say he is sleeping. It is the fires, the functions resembling fire of prana that really keep awake in this city of the body. That which is this apana really resembles the gargapatya fire, vayana resembles the fire, anvaharya pakchana. Since the ahavanya fire is obtained from grahapatya, which is the former source of extraction, therefore prana conforms to ahavanya because of its issuing out of apana. Samana is the priest called hota because it strikes a balance between exhalation and inhalation, which are but comparable to two oblations. The mind is verily the sacrificer, the desired fruit, udana, which leads this sacrificer every day to Brahman. In this dream state, this deity, the mind, experiences greatness. Whatever was seen, it sees again, whatever was heard, it hears again, whatever was perceived in the different places and directions, it experiences again and again. It perceives all by becoming all that was seen or not seen, heard or not heard, perceived or not perceived, and whatever is real or unreal. When that deity, the mind, becomes overwhelmed by solar rays called bile, then in this state of deity does not see dreams. Then all the time there occurs this kind of happiness in this body. To illustrate the point, as the birds, O good-looking one, proceed towards the tree that provides lodging, just so all these proceed to the Supreme Self. Earth and the rudiment of earth, water and the rudiment of water, fire and the rudiment of fire, space and the rudiment of space, the organ and object of vision, the organ and object of hearing, the organ and object of smell, the organ and object of taste, the organ and object of touch, the organ and content of speech, the hands and the object grasped, sex and enjoyment, the organ of excretion and the excreta, the feet and the space trodden, the mind and the content of thought, understanding and the content of understanding, egoism and the content of egoism, awareness and the content of awareness, the shining skin and the object revealed by that prana, and all that has to be held by prana. And this one is the seer, feeler, hearer, smeller, taster, thinker, ascertainer, doer, the Purusha, pervading the body and senses, that is a knower by nature. This becomes wholly established in the Supreme, immutable Self. He who realizes that shadowless, bodiless, colorless, pure, immutable attains the Supreme, immutable itself. O amiable one, he again who realizes becomes omniscient and all. Illustrative of this, there occurs this verse. O amiable one, he becomes all-knowing and enters into all, who knows that immutable wherein merges the cognizing self, the Purusha, who is naturally a knower, as also do the organs and the elements together with all the deities. Chapter 5. Next, Satyakama, son of Sibi, asked him, O venerable sir, which world does he really win Thereby, who among men internally meditates on Om in that wonderful way till death? To him he said, O Satyakama, this very Brahman that is known as the inferior and superior is but this Om. Therefore, the illumined soul attains either of the two through this one means alone. Should he meditate on Om as consisting of one letter too, he becomes enlightened even by that and attains a human birth on the earth. The Rik mantras lead him to the human birth. Being endued there with self control, continence, and faith, he experiences greatness. Now, again, if he meditates on Om with the help of the second letter, he becomes identified with the mind. By the Yajur mantras, he is lifted to the intermediate space, the world of the moon. Having experienced greatness in the lunar world, he turns round again. Again, anyone who meditates on the Supreme Purusha with the help of this very syllable Om as possessed by three letters becomes unified in the sun, consisting of light. As a snake becomes freed from its slough, exactly is a similar way he becomes freed from sin, and he is lifted up to the world of Brahma by the Sama mantras. From this total mass of creatures that Hiranyagarbha is, he sees the Supreme Purusha that penetrates every being that is higher than the higher one. Bearing on this, there occurs two verses. The three letters by themselves are within the range of death, but if they are closely joined one to another, are not divergently applied to different objects, and are applied to the three courses of action, external, internal, and intermediate, that are properly resorted to, then the man of enlightenment does not shake, remains undisturbed. The intelligent know this world that is attainable by the Rik mantras, the intermediate space achievable by the Yajur mantras, and that which is reached by the Sama mantras. The enlightened man attains the threefold world through Om alone, and through Om as an aid he reaches that also which is the supreme reality, that is quiet and beyond old age, death, and fear. Chapter 6. Then Sukesa, son of Bharadwaja, asked him, Venerable Sir Hiranyagarbha, Nabha, a prince of Koshala, approached me and put this question. Bharadwaja, do you know the Purusha possessed of 16 limbs? To that prince I said, I do not know him. Had I known him, why should I not have told you? Anyone who utters a falsehood dries up root and all. Therefore, I cannot afford to utter a falsehood. Silently he went away, riding on the chariot. Of that Purusha I ask you, where does he exist? To him, he Pipalada said, O amiable one, here itself inside the body is that Purusha in whom originate the 16 digits or limbs. He deliberated, as a result of whose departure shall I rise up, and as a result of whose continuance shall I remain established. He created prana, from prana he created faith, space, air, fire, water, earth, organs, mind, food. From food he created vigor, self-control, mantras, rites, worlds, and name in the world. The illustration is this. Just as these flowing rivers that have the sea as their goal get absorbed after reaching the sea, and their names and forms are destroyed, and they are called merely the sea, so also these 16 parts of the all-seeing Purusha that have Purusha as their goal disappear on reaching Purusha, when their names and forms are destroyed, and they are simply called Purusha. Such a man of realization becomes free from the parts and is immortal. On this point there occurs this verse. You should know that Purusha, who is worthy to be known and in whom are transfixed the parts like spokes in the nave of a chariot wheel, so that death may not afflict you anywhere. To them he said, I know this Supreme Brahman, thus far only, beyond this there is nothing. While worshipping him, they said, You indeed are our Father, who have ferried us across Nisines to the other shore. Salutation to the great seers. Salutation to the great seers. O gods, may we hear auspicious words with the ears, while engaged in sacrifices. May we see auspicious things with the eyes, while praising the gods with steady limbs. May we enjoy a life that is beneficial to the gods. May Indra of ancient fame be auspicious to us. May the supremely rich, all-knowing Pusa, god of the earth, be propitious to us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, be well disposed towards us. May Brihaspati ensures our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace. Here ends the Prasna Upanishad included in the Atharvana Veda.